Breaking news this hour with the New York Times now reporting that Elon Musk is about to potentially get access to some of the nation's most closely guarded military secrets. According to what the Times just reported a few moments ago and published on their website, the Pentagon is scheduled on Friday to brief Elon Musk on the U.S. military's plan for any war that might break out with China. After the Times published this article just a few moments ago, Sean Parnell, the Chief Defense Department spokesperson, provided this statement. And I'm quoting him now. He says the Defense Department is excited to welcome Elon Musk to the Pentagon on Friday. He was invited by Secretary Hegseth and is just visiting. Eric Schmidt.
But if you read what's out of the New York Times, it's such a dishonest newspaper. It's such garbage. It's, it used to be called all the news that's fit to print. Well, it's all the news that's not fit to print. They have fake sources, or they don't have sources. I think they make most of it up. But this was a made-up story by the New York Times. I call it the failing. It's a failing newspaper. It's failing. And they shouldn't do that. They really are the enemy of the people.
And something else I don't know.
We do need honest journalism in this. We've made such big strides over the last 2 months, but we just need honest journalism, and we don't have it. When you have a CNN, you have to watch these people every once in a while just to see where they're coming from, and it's so dishonest. MSNBC is, I think, probably worse, and they're both doing horribly in the ratings. I think they're going to be turned off. I don't think they're not doing any ratings.
All right, guys, so
when it just makes sense, it's your red-pilled brown girl searching for the truth. It's your red-pilled brown girl. When it just makes sense, it's your red-pilled brown girl. And get into the truth. It's your red-pilled brown girl.
Brown girl.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, it's Crystal. It's your red-pilled brown girl coming at you on a special night. You guys, tomorrow I am not going to be available, so I wanted to come live early because there is so much we have to talk about, and I do not want to not get in on this fun that's going on in this media. Oh gosh. So you might have noticed that I opened up with a clip with President Trump talking about how dishonest the media is. And it's so crazy that story is kind of leaked from the New York Times, and they're stating that, Elon Musk is going to meet with the Pentagon about defense. It's because they want to go to war with China. First of all, you don't have to do a lot of research. And shout out to Black Conservative Perspective. I took that clip from him. You guys go follow him. He's amazing. But I just kind of looked at that clip, and I wanted to show you that because this is what we're dealing with, you guys. That the New York Times can just flat out lie on the President of the United States of America and nothing happens. Like, if this were Russia or any other country, they would be in a gulag somewhere. They would literally be prosecuted, they'd be in jail. But here, because this is in America and it's a beautiful country, they're allowed to just lie. Now, mind you, I was sent that story by one of my really, really close family members who is a Democrat, and everything that Trump is doing, she hates, right? And everything that he says is a lie. So every now and then she'll kind of send me stuff. She'll be like, and let me know you can hear me, okay? Every now and then she'll send me stuff, and she'll be like, what about this? What about that? Trump wants us to go to war with China. And y'all, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even have to read it. I didn't see it for me to know that it was a flat out lie, because these people just lie. If you go into the mainstream media and observing and consuming mainstream media content with the idea of they are liars, your life will be so much better. Like, if you almost do that, then you probably will see that Trump is doing a really good job if you just kind of ignore the press that just is determined to lie on this man. Like legit determined to lie on him. Elon Musk is going to visit the Pentagon so he can be briefed on what they're going to do for a war with China. First of all, President Trump is the most anti-war president in our lifetime. Can we just say that? Can we say that, please? Can we say that for me? President Trump is the most anti-war president in our lifetime. That's just the truth. You don't have to like him. But everything that he's doing with Russia and Ukraine, everything that he's doing with Israel and the Gaza Strip is all to squash beef. He's trying to squash beef, y'all. Trying to squash beef. Trying to say, hey, let's work together. Let's make money together. Even with the whole Ukraine mineral deal. Let's make money together. Let's not fight. Let's kind of hang out and make money. Y'all, and that's a good thing for the American people. He always says peace through strength. Peace through strength. I never heard a president say that. But it's true. You get peace by showing you're strong. If you're a big, strong guy, you really don't have to worry about people kind of messing with you, right? Like nobody's going to kind of walk up on you and just kind of fight you because you represent a threat. And that's what the United States has not done up until President Trump, is that we walking around like a weakling talking about we want peace, but you don't get peace like that. If anything, you get the war that happened under President Biden. I hate saying President Biden. I don't like to say it. What we got under Joe Biden, you get the war under a weak person. Or somebody who's intentional, like Barack Hussein Obama or George Bush, warmongers. You don't get peace through strength under a weak link, right? And so President Trump has been the most anti-war. And I'm grateful, you guys, that our sons and daughters don't have to be sent into war, right? Aren't you happy about that? Like, I mean... I have a 15-year-old who, if a war is started, most likely he'll be 18 in 3 years. And I don't want him to go to war. And President Trump is like, hey, let's make money. Let's enjoy each other. Let's use each other's resources. I got gas. What you got? You got minerals. Let's work it out. Y'all, how can y'all hate this man? Is beyond me. And then let's get into Elon Musk. Elon Musk is important. He's an important staple or test subject to how evil the Democrat Party is. This is really, really important, y'all. Elon Musk was the golden child of the Democrat Party. Y'all forgot that? Do y'all remember that? He was the guy that if you were liberal, if you voted Democrat, you drove around in a Tesla. You drove around in an electric car because you were saving the planet. Mind you, he's the CEO of Tesla. He is not the owner of Tesla. Tesla is a publicly traded company. Elon Musk is the CEO. Okay? We clear on that, right? They told us that by 2028 here in Maryland, that you were going to have an electric car. They were incentivizing people to have an electric car to save the planet because you remember the global crisis, the climate crisis of climate change, and all of that was happening. Elon Musk was the golden child, and he was going to push us forward into the future. And Elon Musk did something that was so courageous, you guys. He had the courage of his own convictions. He did not like President Trump at first. I remember, because I've been MAGA since 2020, okay? And I remember listening to Elon Musk in 2023, and I got so mad because he was like, I just want somebody normal. Like, he was trying to say President Trump wasn't normal. And I was like, who is he talking about? Because I am, like, y'all already know, anybody that follow me, I am diehard President Trump. If you started following me in 2024 and knew I loved President Trump, here we are in 2025, and I am borderline obsessed, okay? I love President Trump. You can never get me to hate him. So anyway, I say that. I digress. So he was like, yeah, we just want somebody normal. So he didn't really like President Trump at all. He wasn't on the Trump train. You remember he had Ron DeSantis like launch on X, and they were supposed to get together because he was like, okay, at least Ron DeSantis is normal. So he was quote unquote like kind of supporting Ron DeSantis. And anybody that was supporting anybody other than Trump, I had a problem with. So I wasn't for Elon Musk. But he met with President Trump, sat down with President Trump, a lot like Joe Rogan, sat with President Trump, got to know President Trump, and he said, yo, this is the guy. This is the guy that gets it. This is the guy that is going to save America. And instead of him like just shying away and cowering, I'm sure people told him, oh my God, don't do that. Your car stock is going to go down. They're going to hate you. Like, you're going to jail. They started investigating him and all these things. And he didn't shy away. He had the courage of his convictions to say, President Trump is my guy. I will always give props and kudos to Elon Musk for that. With that being said, he said, President Trump's my guy, and immediately the climate crisis disappeared. Isn't that great? Elon Musk saying President Trump is my guy had all the lefties and the liberals all saying, oh, well, we don't want to drive his car. We're going to burn his car. We're going to get rid of his car. And I'm like, hold on, whoa. You were trying to make all the conservatives buy his car, and now all of a sudden, because you don't like his politics, he is not your guy. Do you see how evil these people are? Do you see how evil these people are? The left, they are boycotting a man that's saying, hey, I like what President Trump is saying, and I'm with him, and I'm going to work with him. And they're comparing it to conservatives boycotting Budweiser because they believe that they can market their beers to a transgendered male when their number one demographic is heterosexual men. Now, mind you, do what you want to do, Dylan Mulvaney. Do what you want to do. It's going to be between you and God to be judged. You have to make an account for what you do in your body, and if you change it, okay, when they resume your body, you will have an XY. Sorry, if they exhume your body 100 years from now, your chromosomal makeup will be XY. But do what you want to in your body. God gave it to you. You have to make an account to God, not to us, right? However, heterosexual men are not with the whole transgendered stuff. They don't like it, y'all. And I get it. I get it, right? I get it. It's uncomfortable. It's like, okay, this woman looks like a woman, or this person looks like a woman. I'm kind of attracted, but she has a penis. I don't like it. And so they just stay away from it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's not wrong. Hey, Will, how are you? Thanks for coming in. As you come in, make sure you comment. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. We're talking about Elon Musk, right? So, Bud Light, they just, heterosexual men was like, yo, you're not with it because you're not focused on our demographic. Unfortunately, trans people, turns out, they don't buy beer as much as heterosexual men, and Budweiser lost that battle. Tesla, unfortunately, the left sided with them, and the left is a violent hot mess, and it's shown now, and people are burning the cars, and I'm so grateful. Look at that. Hey. People are burning the cars, and I'm really hoping and praying that they go to jail and get a long jail time. I do not want another summer of love, y'all. I do not want a summer of love. But they're already kind of dog whistling it, and it's really like pissing me off. And nobody's kind of talking about it. They're all kind of saying, it's just stuff. That's what Joy Reid, or Joyless Reid, Joy Insignificant Reid, Joy need to go read a book. Read one of them books that you wanted in the classrooms in Florida. She's talking about, why does the left, why does the right, or why do conservatives care more about property than they do human beings? First of all, that's not true, because we're the only ones fighting to not kill human beings in the womb at the start of life. Okay? Second of all, people on the right work hard for their money. Okay? They do. They work hard. We believe in hard work. We believe in merit based. We believe in all of those things. And we work for our money. And yes, when you steal my stuff or you steal my property, it pisses me off. Oh, the sound is only coming out of one speaker. Oh my gosh, Mr. X. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to fix it, honey. Dang. Anyway, I don't know how to fix it. Let me see if I do something over here. Anyway, Mr. X, I don't know how to do this stuff. I'm sorry. I'll have to fix it later. Anywho, so, which brings me to this idiot, okay? Y'all remember Tampon Tim? Y'all remember Tampon Tim? Y'all remember him? This fool. Hold on. He is such a moron. He is such a moron. Here we go.
Collagen, used to have a probiotic, a green juice that replaced it all.
Saying on my phone, I don't, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you.
Y'all, this dude, and it's so funny because he's getting eaten up. He's getting ate up about it because Tesla is an American company. Okay? He is an American leader. Okay? Y'all follow? He's over Minneapolis. And you're sitting here wanting the people of Minneapolis stocks to drop, their retirement, their 401ks, their money, their jobs, Elon Musk employees. You're rooting for that. I'm so glad he's getting thrashed in the comments, y'all. Like, he's getting thrashed in the media for saying that. But this is what the left, they don't think. They are so stupid. I'm sorry. If you are a heterosexual man and you are voting Democrat, you are a fool. Okay. So you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in charge of these people's stock. I'd rather him just say nothing. Just say nothing. Just say nothing. But instead, he has to say something. He has to remain relevant. Like President Trump said the other day, like, you're a loser, sir. You're a loser. And Elon Musk, on the other hand, is putting rockets in the air and rescuing astronauts and has companies where he's helping people to walk again. And Elon Musk, it really hurt me, you guys, because what he said was so true. He said, I've only done productive things. He came over here from South Africa and had an opportunity to really just change his whole life. There's Americans that don't accomplish what Elon Musk, natural born Americans, that don't accomplish what he's accomplished. He employs, they said, over 80,000 people, not just with Tesla, just with all of his companies. And him trying to help and find ways to reduce fraud and government spending so our children will be able to have a Social Security. He doesn't need, his kids don't need it. His kids don't need Social Security. His mom and his dad and his family, they're good. Our family needs it. President Trump's family does not need Social Security. They're good. Our family, our people, we need it. And for us to get mad at him, and not only that, do we get mad at him, we try to destroy his businesses. Now, everything that he's accomplished to help the American people, we try to destroy it. And nobody is calling like the left out on this. This is a problem, y'all. This is not okay. It's not cool. And I just don't understand how more people are not coming out and denouncing this behavior. It's unacceptable. And I really pray and I hope that God just restores and gives him justice for what is happening to him. But you know what? Like, I'm telling you, when you set out to do something and accomplish something amazing, people that have accomplished nothing will come against you. It happened to Jesus. It happened to Jesus. They didn't remember that he fed 5,000 people. They don't remember that, right? You know? So shout out to Elon. Thank you. Thank you, Elon, for what you're doing. You know, like, I would never root for him to fail because he's helping us. So Anyway, we didn't come to talk about that. We came to talk about the blacks is going back on the plantation. The blacks is going on the plantation, y'all. The blacks is scared. The blacks is hiding out. The blacks is looking for another, like, deliverer. The blacks is looking for another, what's the underground word? Another Harriet Tubman, like, to save them. Because according to them, they are going back on the plantation. Okay. Here's what I'll say, y'all. I hate that for them. I hate that for people who identify as black. Y'all all know that I stopped identifying as black 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. So since I was 40. So I'm 41, about to be 42, and I have not been black, and life has been amazing on this side. I encourage anyone who is still identifying as black to consider, maybe just for a couple of weeks, months, days, decide that you're not going to be black, and I guarantee you your life is going to change. Because according to the blacks, they going back on a plantation. Segregation is coming back, and they're not going to be able to use the white man's restroom. They're not going to be able to eat at the white man's restaurant. They won't be able to eat the white man's burger. Like Martin Luther King says, they want to eat a hamburger. I want to be able to go eat a hamburger. Shout out to MLK. He want to go eat the white man's burger. They want to sit on the white man's bus. They want to sit in the front. I can't. And I hate that for black people. I really do. I hate that they are at a position, like as a whole, as a group of people, that they can be this easily manipulated and this easily controlled. Let me explain. So you are an American. You have an American passport. You've been told you have pledged allegiance. You've been told that you're an American. You have pledged allegiance to this great country. And someone is able to come to you, look you in your face and say, you know, this is not for you. Mm-mm. And you say, you know what? It's not for me because it's for the white man. Or somebody says, you know, we're going to put you back in chains. Oh, they going to put us back in chains. We're going to be on the plantation. Or somebody's able to say, well, you know, President Trump is not going to let people hire you. Oh, no. You know, the Constitution wasn't made for you. Oh, my God, the Constitution. Like, it's sad. It's infantile, you guys, that y'all are able, with an American birth certificate, with American passports, with American accents, somebody is able to come over to you and tell you that you are not American because of the amount of melanin in your skin. And if they so please, are going to put you back in chains. Somebody's able to tell y'all that. And y'all get mad at people like me. Y'all get mad at white people that say, hey, we don't believe that. Or no. Y'all listen to the people who are telling you that you are a second-class citizen, that you're not really American, that white folks are going to put you back in chains. You're going to be back on the plantation, and you're going to be segregated, and you're going to have to use separate bathrooms, and you're going to be sitting on the separate. But like, somebody is telling you this as an American, and you accept it. I hate that for you. I hate that for you. I hate that for you. I don't know what else to say. Because me, Miss Americano, okay? I am Americano, right? I am American in every which language that you can speak. My Constitution says that I have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They said that I am free, not under the Constitution, but under God. And as long as God is on the throne, then my Constitution says that I am free because it comes from God. Why can't y'all accept that? Why can't y'all just live and walk in that freedom? Instead, the media is able to manipulate. Y'all can't figure out that they're trying to do anything. They are trying to throw everything at black folks at this point to get them to get excited about something, right? Get them excited about something. And y'all haven't figured out that the best course of action is to accept the fact that you are an American, walk in that gift of the Constitution and the gift that slavery was to us. And I'm not going to change my words. Y'all can forward this to whoever y'all want to forward it to. You hear me? I was about to say his name, but I'm not going to say it because I have tremendous respect for him. The gift that slavery was to us. Why? All things work together for the good of those who love God and who are called according to his purpose, including slavery. All things, Jim Crow, everything, segregation was the gift of God to black people because we got the opportunity to be a part of the greatest nation on the entire planet, the greatest nation that ever lived. I am so thankful that as a black person, I am not over in Haiti eating dirt cookies. I don't care if you don't like it. I know y'all gonna be so emotional. Oh my God, she said that slavery was a gift. Slavery was not a gift. Yes, it was. Slavery was a gift. Slavery was a gift. Slavery was a gift. Slavery was a gift. Slavery was. I'm gonna keep saying it. Forward it to whoever you want to. Slavery was a gift. Gave us the opportunity to take part in the greatest nation that's ever lived. Didn't y'all say y'all built this country? Don't you say slavery built this country? What a gift it is to be a builder of something incredible that nations would love to be a part of. Immigrants are coming over here left and right, enjoying the gifts that you guys claim that your ancestors gave to you. They're enjoying it. While you complain about being a second-class citizen, white people don't like me, white people don't like me, white people hate me. All right, let me check out some of these comments. Oh, hold on. William, you said you've been practicing your Negro spiritual songs. They're not going to let me. Hold on. What's the one they sang on the floor? We shall overcome. Overcame. I overcame. That's what the Bible says. I'm an overcomer. While and y'all Christian folks crack me up. Because y'all are supposed to be like in the Bible. Y'all supposed to be in the word, right? The word says all things through Christ who strengthens us we can do, except for slavery. We can do all things. All things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. So you guys are saying that you love God. You're saying that you're called according to his purpose. So all things work together, right? Including slavery, right? Right? Including racism. Y'all keep saying y'all are overcomers. You're the head and not the tail. You're above and not beneath. You're the lender, not the borrower. All those things are until you start to talk about slavery. I reject that. Sorry. William, you said, I was thinking about that earlier, why they always targeting black people with the fear tactics and why other races don't fall for it. I don't know. He said, y'all, let you see the comments. He said, and why we never get mad at the blacks who sold us. So what? Yes. The people who sold us, they love Africans. Africans sold us. Sorry. Go back to the source if you want sympathy. But unfortunately, y'all, what I will say is I don't identify as black, so I don't know how y'all feel. I hate that for y'all. I'm sorry. I do know how I used to feel, and it sucked, right? You feeling like you're limited and you're a second class citizen, and you feeling like people don't like you. That is a space that you just don't want to be in. I don't want to be in that space anymore. So I denounce my blackness. I encourage everyone else to do it. It's fantastic over here on this side. You get to be friends and like whoever you want to like. It's the best feeling ever. You can enjoy people that look like you, who are melanated like you, and you don't have to like everybody who's melanated like you. Like if somebody doesn't believe in what you believe, you don't have to talk to them just because, you know, the black codes are just way messed up, and I don't get with that. You can like whoever you like. If they're tan, if they're peach, you get to talk to them too. So denounce your blackness. I identify as a melanated child of the king. A melanated child of the king. And you can too. Anywho, you guys, I say that to say it has come out that the blacks are now going to be segregated against. Yeah, I can't even say it with a straight face. So it's going around that the blacks said that now it's going to be legal to segregate against them. My question to them before I go into this clip is, y'all are already segregated. The hood is segregated. The hood is segregation if you ain't ever seen it. The hood is segregated. The churches are segregated. You go to a black church, not a single white person. And if there is, it might be 2 or 3 little sprinkles of white. Y'all like segregation. Y'all do. Y'all got your black spaces. Remember, you liked it. You wanted your black spaces on the college campuses. You know, people weren't welcome if they were white. Y'all like being with the black. Y'all already segregated. So why is this a problem? I don't understand. Y'all mad at nothing, right? Or are you mad at something? Because you know it's not true. You know it's not true. And they're able to just manipulate you guys and make you think that somebody is trying to segregate themselves from you. No, y'all segregate yourselves. But the fact of the matter is, that's even a lie. Let's look at the clip. Let's roll the clip. Let's roll the clip. And this is important. I like the way this guy breaks it down. Let me get him up. Hold on. I like the way this guy breaks it down. It's so important. Let's look at it together. Hold on. Because this is important, you guys. Arm yourselves with the truth. You either want to know the truth or you don't, right? Here we go. Let's rock and roll. Hold on.
By the Trump administration is it's having a decades-old ripple effect. The federal government no longer explicitly prohibits contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains.
Yeah, the segregation clause is one of several identified in a public memo issued by the General Services Admission last month, affecting all civil federal agencies. Legal experts say this change to contracts to all across all the federal government is significant.
All right, we're bringing back in our legal expert, Khalif Rhodes. So let's talk about...
Okay, so let me give you guys some context. What they're saying is as President Trump is instructing the federal government in their contract instructions, he's getting rid of DEI, right? So he doesn't want it to be skin color. He doesn't want it to be anything. He is getting rid of all of that all of that language, right? So they're even doing like mass erasures, and then they've had to add things back because they're like, oh, that was kind of important. So they've been going through just kind of getting rid of all of the DEI stuff to make it like just fair, or make it, not about skin color or anything like that. They want to make sure that it's merit based. So we all knew that that was coming down the pipe. The blacks got mad. Then they said they wasn't mad. They said, oh, well, it only benefits white women. So why are you mad? I don't get it. The blacks is confusing, okay? The blacks said DEI only benefits white people or white women. So why are you boycotting? Because they're getting rid of the DEI. I don't get it. We're confused, right? So anyway, Trump is getting rid of it, right? Merit-based, we're good. Yes, Mr. X says it should be merit-based, right? That's what we all agreed on. So in him doing that, or in these contractors doing that, they're getting rid of like language, and sometimes the language includes specific things, and it's getting deleted. But if it's important, they're adding it back. So they're saying in federal contracts, the instructions had information about you cannot segregate based on race. That's what the contract language had, right? And they removed all the language. So they didn't just remove the segregation language, they removed all the language that included race. And so the blacks are saying, oh, well, that part about segregation is removed. They're not giving you context and saying all the DEI stuff, all the language regarding race has been removed. Do you see how they're lying to you, right? They're not saying that part. Keep going.
What is the language here that is in this FAR, the Federal Acquisitions Regulation, that these agencies use when they're writing contracts for their federal contractors? Why is this so symbolic?
Well, let's go back a couple steps if we can. In another lifetime, I worked as a government contracting solicitation company, or I should say bidding company. Did that for a number of years, bid on a lot of things, from toilet paper to defense contracts. And what I can tell you as far as control, they are what you look for when you're looking at participating in a bid. The very first thing you do is you flip to the FAR and see, well, hey, do I meet these requirements? These FARs are extremely important. If you fail to meet one of these, you're not even going to get an opportunity to be considered, let alone win a bid. And so FARs are extremely important. These aren't just recommendations or little sticky notes that they put there. They control the bidding and contracting process. And so this language here, I've read the memorandum that was sent out by the director, and the very first thing says ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunities. So even within that language, there's a lot of dog whistle within here. But if you look at some of the things that they...
Hold on. So he says that there's dog whistle. Y'all got to bear with him, okay? Like, so he's teetering. You remember, he's still black. So, you got to get, you got to tiptoe when you're black. He's saying that there's dog whistling because it says getting rid of discrimination based on race, and it has to be merit based. So in the contracts, instead of the instructions or the requirements saying you have to hire 50% black, or you have to hire 50% from a minority or something like that, they got rid of all that language, and they're saying you cannot legally discriminate based on race, and it has to be merit based. We're okay with that, right? Everybody's okay with that. I don't understand what the problem was. He called it a dog whistle because he's still trying to be invited to the cookout, okay? So he has to be careful. But he said some really good stuff. Let's keep watching, okay?
They removed, talking about removing the equal opportunity. I mean, I can agree that a number of the things that are listed in these FARs are duplicative. And that's what he mentions in here, that it's duplicative. Why? Because it's protected by the Civil Rights Act 1964. So because you have that in there, yes, the protections, that safeguard, that safety net, even if someone didn't have these FARs, it would still be that protection there. But the duplicative portion, these FARs will go deeper than that. This is saying I can't discriminate. This is in the Civil.
Okay, y'all follow me. So he admits, he uses a word because he's so smart, duplicative. What does that mean? it's duplicating what's already there in the Civil Rights Bill. Okay? So the civil rights in America are not being taken away or not being removed. Y'all get all upset about the civil rights. I have my own issues with that. I don't need civil rights when when they're given to me by God. I don't need to get them from the law, but y'all need them, so I get it. y'all need the civil rights. So he's saying that the information, it's duplicated in the Civil Rights Act, so they got rid of it in these instructions. So no one's getting rid of your civil rights bill. No one is getting rid of your ability to eat at the white man's counter that y'all want so bad. Nobody's getting rid of that, okay? Nobody. Y'all can go to all the white restaurants y'all want. Y'all can use all the white water fountains that y'all want to use. Go right ahead, okay? I just use a water fountain. I don't know if it's white, black. I don't really care. I'm free. I'm free. I just use a water fountain. I don't know if it's black, if it's white. None of my concern. Not interested. But for you guys, I know it's very important that y'all are able to use the white water fountains and sit at the white man's restaurants. So he's saying that's not going away. Are we clear? Are we still following that? He's saying it's duplicative or duplicated in the Civil Rights Act. So they removed the wording. Keep going.
Civil Rights Act saying I can't discriminate on you based on race, on gender, on these protected classes. But this is telling you exactly how you cannot discriminate against those people. It's going a step further than that. It's saying, okay, if the Civil Rights Act of 64 is the baseline, this is giving a heightened level of protection to ensure that these contractors know exactly what discrimination looks like and how you cannot and should not discriminate against these certain folks. So while I agree it's duplicative in its base, it adds that extra layer of protection to ensure that discrimination would not continue to happen, specifically these places where government contracting had a rampant run of discrimination, or you wouldn't have had them there.
So you kind of play both sides right there.
Y'all, so he's saying that y'all need an extra level of protection against discrimination. Do y'all understand how silly this is? Do y'all understand how... William, shout me out. Mr. Eggs, shout me out. This is silly. Y'all need... The Civil Rights Act is not enough. Y'all need an extra level of protection to make sure... An extra level of protection to make sure that you don't have to, sit at the back of the bus. Do y'all understand how silly this is? Is this silly? Shout me out. Isn't this silly, y'all? This is crazy. Y'all are American citizens, American-born citizens, and somebody has to give you an extra level of protection against discrimination. I just want to make sure, you know that you can't discriminate, and the wording said how you can't discriminate. What the freak? Like my son always said, what the freak? That's stupid. But they didn't tell you guys this, and you got all emotional and all up in arms and all upset, thinking you're going to go back on the plantation because they removed language out of the government contracts that discriminated against other Americans. Y'all are crazy. Keep going.
Saying that there are protections that are still in place even when you've removed this there, but what people are talking about is a precedent that this could set and what could come next. That's what people are worried about.
Well, I think the president has already tipped his hand to exactly what's the attempt to do. I mean, the attack on anything that's DEI, the erasure and removal of any of that that's touching any government infrastructure. I mean, you had the thing with Jackie Robinson that was taken down recently. You had anywhere where there's a mention of the diversity, equity or inclusion, that's being all scrubbed from any government facilities. The government, or I should say the president and his administration, is attempting to even get in the private sector, give increases in bonuses in those places for companies that remove that from their practices. And so I think the next step is to do this push for any type of discrimination, or I should say anti-discrimination efforts, is to remove it. And this is just one step, and this is not something new. He talked about it when he campaigned. He talked about it on his first day in inauguration, and every executive order that he's done so far has been in efforts of furthering that. And so what's next is the continuation of removing anything that's connected to this diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yes, he ran on that, and most importantly, brother man, he won. That is saying we don't want diversity, equity, inclusion. Black folks already said they don't benefit from it. So why is this the problem, y'all? Black folks already said that it does not benefit them. It benefits white women. It benefits white women. So why are we talking about this? Why? We don't need to talk about it if it doesn't benefit black folks. Why black folks so up in arms about it is amazing to me. It's amazing to me. And then he says that the president removed the information about Jackie Robinson. No, they've been doing mass removals, and then they notice, oh my God, we actually really like the whole Jackie Robinson thing. Let me add it back. And then they have to cover at the end. So you guys, I'm going to go show you. He has to say, oh, well, let me make sure I don't get sued. Let me say that again. Put back. Watch.
How long before we see the trickle-down effect, even to like the state level?
I think this probably won't touch on the state level as far. I mean, a lot of these things on the state levels will mirror what the federal government does, and those same protections from the Civil Rights Act would still be there even on the state level. But in the contracting space, this is a major move specifically because, I'll say this quickly, normally a rulemaking process like this, you'd have a 60-day or a 30-day notice where I'd have an opportunity to speak. The public.
Y'all, I have to rewind this because I don't think y'all understand.
State level, but in the contracting space, this is a major move specifically because, I'll say this quickly, normally a rulemaking process like this, you'd have a 60-day or a 30-day. And so what's next is the continuation of removing anything that's connected to this diversity, equity, and inclusion piece.
How long before we see the trickle-down effect, even to like the state level?
I think this probably won't touch on the state level as far. I mean, a lot of these things on the state levels will mirror what the federal government does, and those same protections from the Civil Rights Act would still be there even on the state level. But
do y'all understand that they're literally saying the same protections, these same protections will be there on the state level from the Civil Rights Act? So, but then he goes and dogs whistles about DEI being removed. Y'all, are y'all really able to be this controlled? He's literally telling y'all, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. You still have protections under the Civil Rights Act, and that ain't going nowhere. But be emotional. Gotta make sure I have my stuff in the bag, y'all. Be emotional. Be emotional. Even though I'm telling you, it's nothing to worry about it. You got the protections under Civil Rights Act. No big deal. You're good. Still, be emotional. Y'all don't understand. That should make you so mad at this news. Like President Trump said, they are the enemy to the people. Keep going.
In the contracting space, this is a major move specifically because, I'll say this quickly, normally a rulemaking process like this, you'd have a 60-day or a 30-day notice where I'd have an opportunity to speak. The public will give comment. None of that happened in this situation. It was like, we're making this change today because we can, and we're doing it.
And should note that the Jackie Robinson site was put back up after initially being taken down, but a series of pages on the Department of Defense website have been taken down and have not since been restored. Again, our chief.
Do you see what he said? Oh, we just want to make sure that we don't get sued. The Jackie Robinson site was put back up. Do you see how these people are doing, y'all? Do you see how these people are? And if you're not paying attention, if you're not watching closely, if you're not listening to what they say, and if you're not confident in who you are as an American, if you are not in the mindset of they talking about removing people, they ain't talking about me because I'm born here. They ain't talking about me. They talking about segregation. They ain't talking about me because I have the Civil Rights Act. They ain't talking about me because I have the Constitution. Like, if you're not listening with that kind of lens and you're listening with the lens of a slave, then you will get emotional about that. So it's not them. It's you. You have the problem. You have the problem. And I'm praying and asking God to literally open your eyes so you can know who you are. Because somebody can just look at you and tell you that they're going to start segregating you, and you're not going to be allowed to go places and do things because they said it, and y'all get emotional about it instead of laughing. Like, there's no way you could do that because I'm an American. There's no way you can do that because I'm an American. It's sad. I hate that for y'all. I hate that for y'all. I hate that for y'all. I really do. I hate it. Ain't no way in this world. And then they're lying to you. Oh, they removed the Jackie Robinson. Oh, but let me just let you know that they put it back, but they removed it. Y'all want to do that? Is that what y'all want to do? Y'all want to do this kind of dance where somebody is able to just control you emotionally? It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. And they've been doing it for years, y'all. They've been doing it for years with this whole President Trump thing. They've been doing it for years. Oh, God. Like, get a grip already. Everything about black folks is segregated. Everything. By choice. By choice. Y'all want to go and be with black people. White people, it's okay for them to be with white people, but when they be with white people, y'all say, oh, ain't no black people. Black people don't want to be with them. And then when somebody says, oh, we're going to segregate y'all, y'all get emotional. It's weird. It's so weird. It's so weird. And y'all, stop. Stop it. We too grown for that. It's 2025. We too grown for that. Speaking of, like, the blacks, like, they're putting up, like, these people that are encouraging you guys to be more oppressed, more downtrodden, more victimized, and it's not cool. Which brings me to, y'all, I'm so tired of talking about her. I'm so tired of talking about her, but we got to talk about her. Here we go. 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 We got to. I'm sorry. I know. We just have to at this point. I'm looking for it. Give me a sec, y'all. This was such an important clip. I saved it, but let me see if I can just pull it up. I saved the clip. Hold on. Here we go. All right, it's coming. Let me replace this. Hold on, let me take it off.
Education statistics. Well, Guru, it must be true because according to
Our first investigation will be announced, but
there was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is black women.
according to the National Center for Education Statistics. Well, Guru, it must be true because according to Essence magazine, they tell us that black women account for 68% of associate degrees, 66% of bachelor's, and 71% of masters. So I actually clicked on the link that Essence provided.
Hold on. All right. So I don't leave you. There is this thing that's going out there saying black women are the most educated. So they shouldn't, in my opinion, if you're the most educated and you're the smartest and you got all this black girl magic, then you don't need the DEI, remember? Anywho, black women are the most educated. Black women have the most degrees. Black women have more degrees than a thermometer. Everybody got a doctor this. Everybody got a doctor that. A master's here, a master's there. So there's been, she said, these studies about black women being the most educated. And this guy does this so beautifully. If the news says it, it must be true, right? Here we go.
In their article that took me to the percentage distribution of degrees conferred to U.S. citizens and permanent residents. Black are right here, and the females say 13.6, and the females for bachelor's say 11.5, and the females for master's say 14.0. Well, let's compare that to other female groups. Caucasian females, 13.6 to 47.8. That doesn't look like the most. Bachelors, 11.5 for black compared to 57.3 for Caucasian. That doesn't look like the most. Masters, 14 compared to 60.9. That doesn't look like the most either.
Okay, so in all fairness, what I think she was trying to say that she didn't say is black women are the most educated amongst their group. So black women have outpaced black men in degrees, where in white people and Hispanic, that's not the truth. So the men are more educated than the women. So if you see it's 61% for the white women, then it's 62% for the white men. Or like in the Hispanic, you'll see like 28% for the women, and then you'll see like a 29% or a 31% for the men. Well, black people, where it's 13% of the women, it'll be like 10% of the men, right? So they didn't clarify that we are the most educated when it comes to black people, because the black men are not getting degrees as much as we are. Like, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? And I love this melanated child of the king who lays it out. Watch this girl.
Well, what about most enrolled, Guru? BWs are significantly less than Caucasian women to enroll in 4-year colleges and graduate within 6 years and go on to earn advanced degrees. Looks like Essence magazine and all the women repeating it on social media got it wrong.
Essence magazine can't get this wrong. That's the black woman's magazine. And you know, everything black girls do is great. Watch this melanated child of the king.
The degree girlies are upset, and they literally proving my point in the comment section. They really make it their whole personality. And then if the joke ain't funny enough, you go to their profile, and what do you see in the bio? Them bragging about them degrees. Like, what is this, Indeed? This is TikTok. Why do we need to know? One thing they gonna do is let you know about them degrees, and that's the thing. The fact that you would think that a man is intimidated when the only way he'd really know is if you told it to him, right? Because you don't walk around with PhD on your forehead. And like I said, a lot of y'all are stupid in real life, right? You book smart, but you stupid in real life. So just talking to you, nobody would know what degree you got, right? Because you simple-minded like a child. You just know how to test well, right? So let's not act like people can look at you and know that you're educated. They can't, right? And being educated is not limited to you only having a degree. But again, because y'all make this your whole personality, and you think that because you retain information and you do well under structure, that somehow you're more intelligent than the average person. But again, you're failing at life. A lot of the stuff that you learn, you don't even have to implement in everyday life. But the stuff that you do need to implement in everyday life, you're not good at. You're not smart and intelligent in those areas. You're very dumb, actually, in those areas, right? And that's the reason why a lot of y'all are sitting with degrees that you're not doing anything with. You don't even have a job in that area, right? Nowhere near it. You're not even using that degree. But again, y'all make it your whole personality, and that's why you're insufferable, and that's why nobody likes you. Men don't want to date you. Women don't want to be friends with you. You have a disgusting attitude when it comes to this degree topic. And then you just be so slow and stupid that you could listen to a whole video of what I said and you still misinterpret it, because again, that degree still ain't saving you with common sense.
I need to know that girl. That is my girl. She's my friend. Where have you been? That is, y'all, tag her. Tag her. If you know her, help me to get to know her too. I want to know this person. Yes. She said, you failing at life. You're insufferable. Nobody wants to be your friend. No one wants to date you. No one likes you. No one wants to have to hire you. DEI, no one wants to have to hire you. With your educated self, what kind of common sense do you have? What have you created? What have you built? Nothing wrong with education. Go and read and pursue all you want. But it's not going to stop you from failing at life if you're stupid, if you're mean, if you're nasty, if you're insufferable, if you have a bad attitude, Jasmine Crockett. And you're allowing people like her to lead your party. People like Cori Bush. People like Fannie Willis. People like Jasmine Crockett. These women are embarrassing. They're embarrassing. They are. It makes people look at me like, is she gonna be like that? No, because I'm not black. But people who are black, some of the people who I know and I love, they can't stand these women. They can't stand them. And people keep platforming them. You got a degree. You're a lawyer. You're an attorney. You're this, you're that. And you're nasty as all get up. You're mean. You have a bad attitude. You look down on people. You haven't created anything. You had a government job. How's that working out for you? How's that working out for you? I pray that in the loss of these jobs, that it humbles a lot of these black people. Because Roland Martin likes to say, oh, well, the government employs 75% black people. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Create something. Compete with something. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. And maybe it will humble you to say that you need the black man. Maybe it'll humble you to say that you need to be married. Maybe it'll humble you to say that you need a partner, that you need to build something. I don't know. I don't know what's going to humble black women at this point. I really don't. I really don't know. They're all upset, all up in arms. And it's uncalled for, y'all. This country has been good to black people, especially black women. I'll say it again. This country has been good to black people, especially black women. Sometimes undeservingly, because black women don't always behave like it. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Thank God. And we have a chance. Black and brown people have a chance to turn it around and show that we don't want to discriminate against a whole group of people and show that we don't want to mistreat other people. And I hope we do it. I really do. I don't have a lot of faith because a lot of people are listening to roly poly oly. Let's go to this clip because this is so important when he's talking about the Department of Education. It's so disturbing. It really is. It's disturbing because he knows it's a lie. He knows it's a lie. Let me see. Let me go here. Mr. Roland Martin knows that this stuff is a lie. And he continues to push it and purport it like it is true. And he knows it's not. He knows it's not. Let me see. I want the one where he talks about the Department of Education. Let me find it. It's very important. This is very important to see. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Folks, this is the twice impeached, criminally convicted felon-in-chief, Donald Trump, signing an executive order to facilitate the right's long-standing goal of eliminating the Department.
All right, let me rewind it.
That was always the goal.
Here we go, y'all. All right, here we go.
Folks, this is the twice impeached, criminally convicted felon-in-chief, Donald Trump, signing an executive order to facilitate the right's long-standing goal of eliminating the Department of Education. That was always the goal of the Republicans and Project 2025. And so that's what they're doing a ceremony in the East Room of the White House. This idiot Trump signed the order while flanked on each side by school children seated at desks. While the order recognizes that it would take an act of Congress to completely shutter the department, Trump directed Education Secretary Linda McMahon to do all she can to achieve that goal. The con man said the department will preserve useful functions like Pell Grants, Title I funding, and programs for students with disabilities. Do we have any audio of him talking? All right, so here's the deal. They're going to sit here, and what they're doing is, again, they want to completely gut the department. They've already laid off half of the employees. This is what they have always done and what they want to do.
So, Roland, I have a question. If Trump is an idiot, he said idiot president. If he's an idiot and he's the president of the United States, the most powerful country in the world, he has the most important job in the entire world, he's built companies, he has built a media, he has been successful in media, he's been successful culturally, he's been successful in raising his 5 wonderful children, not a single one has gotten away. He's built buildings and rented out buildings and hotels and casinos, and he was a success with the Miss America pageant or the Miss USA. I don't know which one. You guys, I think it's Miss America. He's been successful if he's an idiot, then what are you? Trump, idiot. So what does that make you, Mr. Roland Martin? Trump, successful. You're not even halfway as successful as President Trump. If he's an idiot, then what does that make you? Just curious. Throw it out there. Throw out some names. I don't know. Keep going. Oops, sorry.
Out of D.C. want to do. And again, this is what their goal has always been. My panel, Dr. Nola Haynes, she is Georgetown University School of Foreign Service out of D.C., political cis, social media, political activist out of Knightdale, North Carolina. Reese Colbert, host of the Reese Colbert Show, Sirius XM Radio out of Washington, D.C. Reese, I'll start with you. I mean, bottom line is this here. This is always what they wanted to achieve. They are blaming the Federal Department of Education for the problem with education. I'm here in Texas right now, and in fact, we're going to have also on the show, I got a chance to chat with State Representative Jolanda Jones, and we talked about a couple of things. We talked about the voucher scam bill here in Texas, and we also talked about the Texas Education Agency takeover of the Houston Independent School District. But here's the whole deal. 90% of the funding in America for schools is state and local. So this idea that the problem with education is all because of the Department of Education is right-wing fiction.
Okay. All right. I like his little black girl panel. You know, the whole black girl panel. The black girls know. The diaspora. He says that 95% of education is funded through state and local. So the fact that the Department of Education is responsible for the failing schools is a myth. First of all, no one said that the Department of Education is responsible for the failure. No one said that. Y'all keep confusing and mincing words. No one said that Department of Education is the fault of the failing school system. I mean, or the Department of Education is the reason that the schools are failing. That no one has said that. No one has said that. We have said that since we created the Department of Education, the schools have started to fail. Well, why? Because they try to fit a square peg into a round hole. They try to, make a uniformed standard of education throughout the nation. Those are all reasons that the Department of Education is not working. It's not working. That's what we've said. We've said the Department of Education is not working. So why would we continue to invest $3 trillion into an institution that's not working? No one said that the Department of Education in and of itself is the cause of the failing school system. Actually, President Trump even says that with the dismantling of the Department of Education, some states will still struggle. Why? Because the states have problems. They have ideological problems. Mostly blue states, they have issues, right? So no one is blaming the Department of Education. Do you see how he slipped that in there? Second of all, if the Department of Education only provides 5% of the money to the school systems, then why the problem? Why are you mad? If you feel like you don't need it, why are you mad? This goes back to the whole DEI. If you don't feel like you need it, why are you mad?
Well, yeah, I mean, the right-wing education system has created a problem with us having lower literacy scores, lower math scores compared to other industrialized nations. Look, this is about undoing the progress since Brown versus Board of Education. This is about creating separate and unequal. It is about creating a caste system, or not creating, but entrenching a caste system in which wealthier people get to send their school kids to better schools, in which underprivileged, and I use that in air quotes, underprivileged kids have no recourse for underinvestment in their areas, in their schools, where kids who have disabilities do not have any recourse in ensuring that they have equal access to education, whether that be learning disabilities or physical disabilities. And so this is about making it harder for the playing field to be leveled through education. It's also about eroding the middle class. It's about taking away investments like what Biden-Harris did by expanding public student loan forgiveness and other student loan forgiveness programs. And so this is a full-on assault on all of the mechanisms that have been put in place over decades to make education slightly more equitable in this country. The way to make more progress is not to undo the progress that's been made, but is to double down on it. And this is the exact opposite of that.
Y'all, you remember the last video? Hold on.
Over 550 casitas, with many of those being deployed in.
You remember the video, and she was talking about unsufferable. This is it. Like, this woman, first of all, the Department of Education didn't provide more opportunities for Black and brown underprivileged children. You know how I know, sis? With her wet and wavy? Baltimore school systems are still crap. Okay? So, but these people don't care. Like, she doesn't care. She does not care. She doesn't care. She probably ain't got no kids. Or maybe she does. I don't know. Oh, she got a little baby, a little cutie in there. She doesn't care. She doesn't care that the Department of Education is collecting all this money, paying all these salaries, and the kids in Baltimore can't read. She doesn't care about that. She's going to defend them tooth and nail. Then she starts talking about, kids with disabilities. He literally just said that he's not taking away those disability programs, even though I think those should go to the states too. President Trump, I've already said it, is way more of a liberal than I am. I'm very conservative. I don't believe that. Anyway. Also, I believe that stuff should go to the states. I don't believe in student loan forgiveness. We don't have to pay back your loan, Miss Educated. Miss and Mr. Educated. The courts found that unconstitutional. Not President Trump. The courts found it unconstitutional. But here she goes spouting. Mind you, Roland Martin has 1 million followers, okay? 1 million. And they're listening to this. Keep going.
Nola, people really need to understand. And again, all of these crazy, deranged people on the right, they literally have no clue. They don't even understand that the states that benefit the most from the federal Department of Education are red states. Like
ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding. I knew it's coming. Hold on. I got to rewind it, y'all. I got to rewind it because Black folks don't benefit, even though we focusing on it, and even though we upset about it because it's affecting Black folks don't benefit. Let's do it again.
All of these crazy, deranged people on the right, they literally have no clue. They don't even understand that the states that benefit the most from the federal Department of Education are red states, like Tennessee, South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas. So they just want to just go ahead and cut their noses off to spite their face.
Why is you mad, sir? Why we mad? Why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about this? The states that benefit the most are red states. Black folks don't even benefit from the DOE. So why we mad? Hey, Clarity Speaks. Oh my gosh, what up, girlfriend? I miss you. I gotta have you back on again. Clarity, she said, y'all, she said, you better than me to be able to listen to this. We gotta listen to it, girl. We gotta catch the tea as to what the Bliggity Blacks is talking about. Here we go. Watch, she doubled down on it. She doubles down.
Ooh, I am burning up about this issue.
Why, sis? Why are you burning up? Why are you burning up? Your leader, Roland Martin, told you that it don't affect black folks. It don't affect the blacks. So why are we burning up? Why are we mad?
I knew it was coming. It's here. You know, as an educator, this is definitely something that my chats have been going off about all day. But I've been thinking a lot about this in that same context, Roland, but also in the context, definitely something that.
I gotta go back. Look, Nola Haynes, PhD, MDiv, a Master's in Divinity, Georgetown University, School of Foreign Services. Ooh, she educated. Sis is educated. You hear me? Not only do she got a PhD, she got a master's. And in order to get a master's and a PhD, you got to have a bachelor's. So she got a bachelor. No, and then to get a bachelor's, you got to have a high school diploma. To get a high school diploma, you got to be able to finish all your credits, which the kids in Baltimore can't do. Do you see how these people are? Her miseducated, master's, PhD, mad that something that has not been helping is being dismantled, but she's burning up because it only helps the white people and the red state. It only helps the red states. Do you see how confusing this is, y'all?
That my chats have been going off about all day. But I've been thinking a lot about this in that same context, Roland, but also in the context of politics. Last night I did a live and I had a question asked about what is a populist? What does populism mean? And what does it mean when people say that Donald Trump is a populist? Basically, at the end of the day, it benefits a populist, wannabe dictator, wannabe autocrat to have an uneducated permanent class. That benefits him. MSNBC did a very...
Yes, sis, like in Baltimore, like in Chicago, like in all of these places, even PG County, bless their heart. I love PG County and the folks in PG County. However, people like her don't send their kids to public school. Why? Because the public schools are crap. She's not fighting for the people that she say that she cares about. Uneducated populists, that's black folks. That's black folks. Did you not just see that 61% of white folks have of white women and 62% of white men got a degree? So who's the uneducated populace?
Very interesting, did some interesting polling today around white voters. And to no one's shock, most of Trump supporters were white males who were uneducated. That shocks no one. And while more white women do not support Donald Trump, the ones that do have not received, at the very least, a four-year degree. So this is all part of the playbook. There's nothing new here. Donald Trump is not reinventing the wheel. And it's very easy to convince people that those coastal elites, those Northerners, and I can't tell you how many times I've been hearing that lately. I feel like I've been transported in some sort of time machine and we've gone backwards in time. Like people actually using terms like Yankees and Northerners. What?
No, nobody's using that, sis. Nobody's. Just stop lying. Just stop Jussie Smollett letting us. Who y'all put in the chat if you heard somebody use Yankees and Northerners. Besides, if they not talking about baseball. Yankees. Ain't nobody talking like that. Ain't nobody talking like that, y'all. That's like the George Floyd anti-lynching act. Who's getting lynched? Who's getting lynched, y'all? When the last time you said, y'all, let me know. I really need to know when you see a lynching. I don't know if I want to see pictures, but I feel like I have to. These people are crazy. Crazy. Yankees and Northerners.
Where are we? But anyway, my point is they are genuinely convinced that education believes that we are the permanent enemy, and somehow that they are in on something, that they know something that we don't know, that they have the authentic information that we do not have. All part of a larger scheme. It's not a shock to no one, but it really is the populist autocratic dictator playbook. It benefits them to have a very undereducated base. And to Reese's points, absolutely, this is also about undoing everything that had anything to do with civil rights.
Political sis, you're North Carolina, and same thing. We talk about
this is so bad. This is so bad. And in the beginning, President Trump talked about like just them being able to just lie. Just being able to just lie. And you talk about uneducated populists. These black folks are eating this stuff up. Eating it up. Like, who bewitched you? That somebody's just going to walk up to you and call you a Yankee. And Yankee and Northerners, that's the same word. Ain't the Yankees the, like, Northerns? Like, ain't they? I know they say it in Trinidad. My sister Donna, she out here. She's from Jamaica. I know they say it in Jamaica. They said the Yankee. The Yankee. So maybe she heard that when she went to Carnival. That just happened. Shout out to TNT. But ain't nobody using that here. Yankee, Northerner. Just lying. Only during, he said, Max Tax said, only during Civil War reenactments. Exactly. Like nobody has said this. What did Clarity Speak say? She said like they use white supremacy 50 times. Yes! Every minute. White supremacists. They lying. That's what they do when they lose. They just make up stuff. You are exactly right. I showed y'all how Joy Reid last week made up the fact that U.S. went to war with Canada and Canada won. Like, y'all, she literally said, oh, if Trump wants to go to war with Canada, we're going to lose. Like, we're going to lose like we did the last time. Canada did not go to war with the U.S. The British used Canada to go to war. But Canada ain't going to beat us in no war. They just make it up. Someone said Roland Martin's show is pure hyperbole aimed at stirring up black folks' emotion. You're so right, y'all. But it's weird, though. It's so weird, Max, because he literally is saying it only benefits red states, but we should be mad. Which one is it? Which one is it? Because last I checked, black folks is in blue states. Black folks are in New York, California, Chicago. They in Atlanta. That's not a blue state, but it's definitely a blue city. What? So he should just say, no big deal. Who cares? Joy Reid is ignorant. Exactly. He said it was the British. Joy Reid is yes, totally. Everybody knows that. Anywho, y'all, do y'all not understand how bad this is? How bad this is? It's almost like you have to watch mainstream media with the lens of understanding that they are trying to manipulate you. And you should open your eyes in every single attempt to consume mainstream media, you should be asking yourself, what are they trying to make me believe? What are they trying to make me believe? And anything that puts you in a position where you don't believe that you're an American, you don't believe that you're a child of God, you don't believe that you have the rights and privileges under the Constitution, you should reject it immediately. Immediately. And if they're not telling you that, they hate you. They hate you. And like President Trump always says, they are the enemy of the people. They are the enemy of the people. Ugh. God, y'all. God. It's so bothersome. It's so bothersome. Okay. Man. Okay. So I had a few things that I want to talk about, y'all, but I'm not ready to talk about Jess with the mess. I love Jess Hilarious and her in the Breakfast Club with Lauren LaRosa. I can't talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. What I will talk about is Tampon Tim supporting tampons going in boys' bathrooms, and he's supposed to be masculinity, and how we don't have compassion for men who want to dress up as women and compete in women's sports. So Whoopi Goldberg has Dylan Mulvaney on The View. Did y'all get a chance to see this? Did y'all get a chance to see this? So on International Women's Day, Whoopi Goldberg has Dylan Mulvaney. Well, I say Whoopi Goldberg, but let me say The View has Dylan Mulvaney as their guest. Okay.
I chose Wix for my business
this is
because
important,
of its
y'all.
massive scope
Because
for
we're
functionality
about to finish up
and
with
freedom.
women's
Dylan
history
Mulvaney
month.
became a social media
And
superstar for documenting her gender transition online. She also stood strong against the hateful backlash and boycott after her Bud Light branded post. When Dylan Mulvaney became a social media superstar for documenting her gender transition online. She also stood strong against the hateful backlash and boycott after her Bud Light branded post went viral. Now she's sharing her journey in a candid and witty new memoir called Paper Doll. Please welcome Dylan Mulvaney.
Oh my God. A book, y'all. A book. Hi, ladies. And they keep saying her. And it literally seems as though they're trying not to say he. Does it sound like that to y'all? It's like Whoopi trying not to say he.
Welcome to The View.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Anna has the first question.
So, Dylan, in 2022, you publicly came out as transgender on social media, and you started documenting the first 100 days of your transition.
So ugly.
And those posts have now more than 1 billion, with a B, views. Crazy. So why did you decide to document that, and how was the reaction?
Yeah, well, I think when I came up to my mom when I was 4, and I didn't know how other trans women were getting to the, to where they were going on their journeys. And I look at someone like Laverne Cox, who you recently had on the show, and actually this feels like a school presentation when you go up after someone who's like really good at what they were doing. And I'm like, oh shoot. But I think that I didn't know how to get to where women were like Laverne. And so I was like, let me start at the beginning. And I also was doing stand-up comedy in LA at the time.
That's all I needed to know, y'all. That's all I needed to know. Stand-up comedy, trying to be seen, trying to become a star, and doing it off the backs of wanting to be a different sex. A different sex on International Women's Day? Yo.
And I wanted to find the funny way into coming out because I had already come out 2 times before that. And I was like, oh gosh, this needs to, be a little bit lighter of something. So I tried to make people laugh. And I think that comedy is a really good way into, touching people's hearts and changing minds. And then what ended up happening was a lot of support, but a lot of hate. Yeah. And I'm a people pleaser, so I wanted to make the haters see that there were other parts of me and that I am a 3-dimensional person. And so I've kind of taken people along this journey and.
But Gavin doesn't have a problem. I'm so annoyed, y'all. I'm so annoyed that these women sit here in celebrating. But they did it to women before. You remember Bruce Jenner was like Woman of the Year. Y'all don't remember that? And so now, like they got Dylan Mulvaney. Y'all, this is crazy. This is psychotic. And then you're mad because President Trump is saying you have a mental disorder. You cannot serve in the military and you cannot parade around as the opposite sex. I mean, you could be whatever you want to, like on your own time, but we're not going to like play these kind of games with you. Let's listen to the females. Listen to that, y'all. This part.
Correct.
No. Yes. Her friend. Her friend. It went from female to male and is competing with other males.
So Gavin doesn't have a problem with that.
Well, I think part of the problem that the trans community is facing, and it's the same problem that women face, is if you don't know anything about our bodies, you don't know how it works. Mm-hmm. So when you come in and you say, oh, these are men, competing against women, you're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything except be here. Have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what's going on or why this is an issue. The same for me as when people say, oh, I don't know how I feel about you. You do. God doesn't make mistakes. No. And the challenge is not to the trans people, it's to the people who are not trans. That's what God is looking to see, how you treat people.
Yeah. Girl, first of all, ain't nobody treating her bad. She's on The View. If she was being treated bad, there'd be protesters standing out there. There'll be lines. They'd be hitting her like, y'all like y'all would be doing if it was President Trump. The way the left does. Ain't nobody thinking about Dylan Mulvaney. We're not with it. But they are agreeing with 20%. Y'all, this issue of men in girls' sports, men in girls' locker rooms, men in girls' bathrooms, y'all, this is an 80-20 issue with the American people. 80% of people do not believe that biological males, I don't care what you call yourself, if you have an XY chromosome, should not be competing with an XX. Why? Because you're bigger, you're stronger, more muscle mass, more lung capacity. It is a fixed fight, okay? 80% believe that. So they are willing to side with the 20% and still stay on air. That should tell you that conservatives are not the hateful ones. Okay? Conservatives not were hateful ones. Y'all are driving this thing home. And Dylan Mulvaney is looking at her like, he looked like he don't even want to say anything because he knows that that's just not true. He knows that. But you know who else also knows this? And she ain't said a word. She ain't said a word. Look. Watch, y'all.
Athletes foot cramping your style? Step it up with Lotrimin Ultra 1-week treatment.
Well,
Well, who would it be?
Well, I don't know. Let's say you
Okay.
would be the.
I was hoping you'd say.
All right, feminine side, and me.
And you. Oh. Well, actually, it's funny because Andy Murray, he was been joking about myself and him playing a match, and I'm like, Andy, seriously, like, are you kidding me? Because for me, tennis and men's tennis and women's tennis are completely almost two separate sports. So I'm like, if I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0, 6-0 in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because no, it's true. It's true. It's a completely. It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster, and they serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game, and I love to play women's tennis, and I only want to play girls because I don't want to be embarrassed. I would not do the tour. I wouldn't do Billie Jean any justice. So Andy, stop it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you kill me.
I'm with you when it comes to tennis. I only want to play girls.
Yeah.
We got that going on.
So there you have it, you guys. Serena Williams is the #1 tennis player. Like, she's been #1 for a long time. I mean, she's probably got dethroned a few times, but she's no one will argue that she should be in the tennis book of world records. I mean, like, she's an amazing tennis player. And she is saying that if she played another tennis player, that it would not even last 15 minutes because she would get blown. They hit harder. They're much faster. And she doesn't want to be embarrassed. She's saying it at her level. Mind you, she's not even saying, I'll take one for the team. We'll play. She's like, I'm not playing them big dudes. So why do we want our daughters and our girls to suffer this humiliation and pretend like there's not a difference between biological males and biological females? We want our daughters to suffer. She said, I don't want to be embarrassed. Oh, male. Track, y'all, this was a story that just came out, y'all, and when I say it was so bad, it was so embarrassing. It was, hold on, let me do trans athlete. This just happened, y'all. This just happened, y'all. Watch this. Y'all, this is so sad. This is so sad. And watch this. Watch this. Y'all, look at this. Y'all, do y'all see this? Y'all, look at the girl. Y'all, look at the girl. Y'all, look at this. It's not even close. It's not even close. How humiliating is that? And even like, I love that Serena Williams said that, and she won't come out and speak. She should be partnering with Riley Gaines. And Riley Gaines, you probably should call out Serena. And she probably already has. She probably I love Riley Gaines. She probably already called her out. Serena, why you don't have my back, girlfriend? What's going on? Is it because I'm white that what you said ain't no longer true? Serena Williams said, I don't want to suffer the embarrassment. These men are bigger. They're stronger. The game is different. They're faster. And we're letting our daughters suffer through this. Is this crazy? Oh my God. Max Plus, you said, didn't the female... Hold on, Max. said, didn't the female U.S. soccer team lose to a bunch of... Yes, they did. The female soccer team, what he's talking about is the female soccer team lost to high school boys. Like, my son is 15. My son is 15. He's a child. He's not even fully developed yet. I am a grown 41-year-old woman, and I cannot beat him in an arm wrestling competition. Yeah, if he get out of line, I'll clock him. But he could totally beat me. He said faulty shoes. That's crazy, right? This is crazy. Y'all, and so this is why I say that the left is so like disturbing, is that they have buried the video of Serena Williams. The right is being so polite, they don't want to call her to the carpet, and we need to get loud about it. Like, Serena, sis, why are you letting this happen to these little girls? Do you see this happening? They're losing competitions. And so I'm so glad President Trump is taking away funding to these places. If you allow, it was semi-pro. Oh, sorry. It was semi-pro, not pro, but semi-pro. Sorry. Max Plus Text corrected me. So it wasn't the pro side, but it was high schoolers, right? It was high schoolers. The high schoolers probably could have given the pro team a run for their money. Anyway, President Trump is taking away funding. Excuse me, guys. President Trump is taking away funding from these schools and these states that are allowing this crap to happen, because President Trump actually cares about kids and cares about children and cares about girls and cares about women. Y'all saw what happened in Italy in the Olympics, where that trans person like almost killed them girls. Like, knocked her square out, okay? And that's what's going to have to happen. And it's like, we're not saying anything. We're not calling these people on The View to the carpet. And these are women, y'all. These are women. We should be able to say, no, sis. You're out of line. I have a daughter. This is not cool. You can be whatever you want to be. If you want to dress up, that's between you and God. God gave you that body. And if you want to, that's between you and God. I really don't care, y'all. I am one of those Christians that believes in judgment, and God will have mercy on whom he will have mercy on. And it is not me to judge. I am very, very much that kind of Christian. However, when you are hurting people, or you're hurting women, or like, that's not cool. And we don't have to play in your delusion. No one wants to play in my delusion of wanting to be a millionaire and go on Mars with Elon Musk. No one is playing into my delusions. If I go to the White House and say, hey, I'm here for Elon, I'd get arrested. Hey, knock, knock. Elon, we going to Mars? When we going? When's the planning session? I want to be on it. Nobody allows me to do that. So we're not allowing these people to hurt other women at all. We're not. Okay? And I hate that it has to be like that, you guys. It really shouldn't have to be like that. But President Trump is not playing business. He's not playing with them. And Rachel Dolezal is owed an apology. She feels like she's black and nobody wants her to be black. She can have my slot. I stopped being black, so she can have that one. Okay? And then Mr. McBride, I don't want to call McBride, was the Sarah McBride, the Congress person who kept calling her a she. Kept calling her a he. Y'all, the way that she got mad, we got to pull it up. Look, now we got to pull it up. And this will be the last story, y'all. This will be the last story. We have got to watch this. This is a little old, but it He kept calling him Mr. And I just thought that was I felt like that was a little cold. Because there's a way, y'all. Okay, I know. This is the compassionate side of me.
I now recognize.
This is the compassionate side of me, y'all. There's a way to acknowledge that somebody wants to be called a different pronoun. And if you don't want to call them that pronoun, you don't have to call them anything, right? You know, like if they want to be a Mrs. I mean, like, it's not gonna hurt me to as much as it be possible live peaceably with all men, right? So
As the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
he kept calling him Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
She kept calling him Madam Chair.
Could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply.
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman? Would you
standard-
repeat what you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America? Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I mean, I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
He said, if I gotta call that person a she, then the meeting is adjourned. I feel like that was a little mean, y'all. I know conservatives don't like that. I think it's petty. I have been around trans people. I grew up with someone who was a trans person, and I love that person. That person is made in the image of God. I wish that person would realize that they're made in the image of God and that God didn't make any mistakes and God loves them. They can always repent and come back to God. That is my prayer for the person that I love who's a trans person. With that being said, if that trans person wants to be called a she and I'm really struggling with it, I'm really struggling with it, I wouldn't probably call them a she. I would probably avoid it and call them by their name. For instance, let's say that this person's name is, they say that their name is Sarah. Okay, let's use Sarah. I would say, recall Sarah to the floor or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I try, right? I try. He said misgendered. Yeah, like I try just for the sake of, because of getting to work, right? And so these are Congress people, and they need to work for the people of the state of Delaware. So there's things that are more important. The Bible calls them weightier matters. Like there's weightier matters, right? So my need to call this person a she or he should not outweigh my need to do what I need to do for the American people, for the people of Delaware, right? So if I was that person, what I'd say is, I'd say, hey, the people call Sarah McBride. That's what I would say. And then we can kind of fight it out there, right? But I wouldn't keep calling a person any kind of name that they don't want to be called, right? Like I would try and avoid to just either not call that person or allow somebody else to call that person, but find a happy medium, because we have to work with all people, including trans people, right? And it may be a little annoying that it's like, come on, like really? As long as they're not, hurting people, as long as they're not trying to use compete in women's sports. Like if you want to dress up like a woman, I don't agree with it personally. However, it's your decision. We live in a country where you have the right to do that. And I can be respectful in that space. Like I can. And I challenge everybody who watches my podcast, you guys, is don't get distracted by these like petty arguments. I think that this is really petty, even though I like this guy a lot. This congressman, what's his name? What is his name? Congressman Keith Self. I like him, and I think he just had time. You know, like sometimes you just get like, I got time today. And he just had time. He was like, I'm not calling you Mrs. I'm just not today. You know, I wouldn't have did that. Mr. X says, I've been around trans people too. I tell them to tell me your name. I don't need to know your pronoun. Exactly. Like, just call them by their name. Y'all, find a way to work with these people. Find a way to love them. God loves them. You know, I don't participate in their delusions. Absolutely. Like, so nobody's asking you to participate in their delusions, right, Mr. X? Like you don't have to participate if you feel strongly convicted, right? I know a trans person now who I love dearly. She, and I'll call her pronouns because that's what she likes. She's a whole good time. I mean, she's a biological male. She's not trying to compete in women's sports. She doesn't try to be a woman. She be like, you know, she be like, girl, you know. And I just don't feel the need to disrespect her, right? Because she's going through her journey of life that she's struggling with. And I don't know what it's like to be a trans person. You know, I pray for her and I pray that God helps her move throughout that sin. That sin is just like any of our other sins that we have. I'm sinful. We all have a sinful nature. Mine just is not being trans. I think that we can do better, you guys, as conservatives. I'm sorry. I know that's not the popular opinion on the right, but you know, like, just call it by her name. Don't be so petty, sir, and get to work for the people of Delaware. Get to work. I hope that they can work it out. I hope, because they got to work together, right? Like, you can't just be upset over the pronouns, and then you just can't be allowing that stuff to distract you. So get to work. I did think it was pretty savage, though, Chairman Show. It was pretty savage. And I believe that men have to do that. Men are tough. Like, you know, the tough guys. Men are like, I'm not doing that. But then hopefully they come to the realization that, you know, I have to work with Sarah and Sarah McBride, and I got to find a way to do that. And maybe we can find a happy medium. But y'all, let's just be adult about this. Anywho, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. You guys, it is a privilege that I get to talk to you guys and you listen. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please, guys, like, share, comment, subscribe. I am on my way to increasing my subscribers. I really, really want to get to 10,000 subscribers. I really, really, really want to get to 10,000 subscribers. And let's, you know, just kind of make sure that we, you know, are sharing this. I believe that God has allowed me to be in this podcast space because I do have a difference of opinion. I have different, you know, I have different experiences, and it's kind of showed me and guided me to knowing a little, you know, seeing things a little bit differently, right, you guys? So share this perspective, share, you guys, share, subscribe. I didn't do it this time, but I have a very special Where in the World is White Supremacy that I am going to do with you guys on Thursday of next week. Or maybe I might do a special show because I probably can't handle it. I probably can't keep it to myself. But Where in the World is White Supremacy? Y'all, this one is going to be good. I promise you. I will not be going live tomorrow because I do have an event for my full-time job that I have to be a part of. But you guys, I am so grateful that you guys hung in with me today. I might restream this one tomorrow for all the people who have missed it, but I just appreciate it. I love you guys. I pray God's blessings over every single person under the sound of my voice. And until next time, peace. Oh, thank you, Max. Another great show under the books. You're so awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.